Usually, domestic state elections matter only to the people living there, but sometimes a local vote sends immediate shockwaves across an international border. In India, the ruling BJP recently secured massive victories in the eastern states of West Bengal and Assam. The grassroots political shift is decisive. To understand why this outcome matters to the rest of the region, look at where these two states are located. They share a massive border with Bangladesh. Together, West Bengal and Assam form a natural perimeter physically wrapping around the neighboring country. Because of this geography, India's internal change in leadership has instantly triggered a very real national security panic for the government sitting right next door. The Bangladeshi media is currently tracking the Indian state elections with total obsession. It has completely hijacked their domestic political discourse. The anxiety reached the floor of the Bangladeshi Parliament when MP Akhtar Hossain delivered a public warning. Hossain cautioned his colleagues that they need to prepare for a fresh, enormous wave of refugees. He claimed that Muslims would soon be aggressively driven out of Indian territory and pushed directly into Bangladesh. They are actively bracing for a demographic crisis, directly triggered by strict border enforcement promises made on the Indian campaign trail. The BJP's state leadership has a specific mechanism in mind to fulfill those campaign promises. They plan to revive a long-dormant piece of legislation known as the Immigrants Expulsion from Assam Act of 1950. Assam's chief minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, is operating with a clear public mandate to launch a legal battle against what he calls illegal encroachers, taking over state lands and forests. That rhetoric on paper is already translating into active, physical enforcement on the ground. Recently, Sarma publicized that his forces had intercepted 20 undocumented individuals at the border and physically pushed them back. In response, Bangladesh formally summoned the Indian envoy in protest. What began as political talking points during an election cycle has now rapidly escalated into active diplomatic hostility and physical border skirmishes. The challenge for India is that standard security measures do not work everywhere. Vast stretches of the India-Bangladesh border consist of thick swamps and unfenced river waves, making traditional foot patrols nearly impossible. Because these aquatic routes are so porous, officials have started considering highly unconventional tactics to secure them. The proposed idea is to intentionally release crocodiles and venomous snakes into the border waters, effectively creating a lethal biological barrier to stop undocumented crossings. Naturally, this severe proposal has drawn sharp international media scrutiny and intense backlash from human rights organizations. The fact that a government is seriously evaluating lethal biological deterrence reveals just how severe they consider the border issue to be. It shows a willingness to significantly elevate the level of force. Resolving this issue diplomatically is difficult because of a major stalemate. Historically, the official position of the Bangladeshi government is that their citizens simply do not migrate illegally into India. That political denial clashes directly with the physical reality on the Indian side, where heavily armed border forces intercept unauthorized crossings on a regular basis. But Bangladesh's reluctance to acknowledge the issue hides a much deeper vulnerability. They are already managing a humanitarian load that stretches their resources to the absolute limit. They currently house massive camps on their eastern border, filled with hundreds of thousands of Rohingya refugees who fled persecution in Myanmar. If India begins actively deporting millions of people across the western border, Bangladesh simply does not have the infrastructure, land, or money to absorb them. The recent state elections delivered a victory for a political party, but they also started the clock on a geopolitical collision. The policies set in motion will inevitably push a deeply strained nation into a direct confrontation over borders, resources, and human lives.